All right. So the next 1:00 game on our docket is the Denver Broncos, who are 2-5, at the Indianapolis Colts. They are 4-2. The Colts move into the top 10 at number 9. The Broncos fall to 26. The Colts are favored by 6 in this particular outing. Broncos have won the past 2 versus the Colts, but they don't score points, only 16 per game. By the way, not enough has been said about Jacoby Brissett and the job he's done going 4-2. We dubbed him the best backup quarterback in the NFL before Andrew Luck retired. So now he's no longer a backup. Just so you know, he is 134 for 206, 1,388 yards, 14 touchdowns, only 3 picks, a 100.9 rating. I'm going to take the Colts, and you're locking them in.
Of course I am. I've been touting Brissett since week 1 of the season. Yeah, we said all those things in the preseason before we knew Luck was retiring. I was cautiously optimistic. I did make the case that 2 years ago when Luck was out nursing the neck injury or whatever, shoulder injury, that Brissett was highly talented because the Colts had just acquired him from the Patriots. The problem is the Colts had no talent on that team at the time. 2 years later, he's got talent. We can see what Brissett can do. And dare I say, he's probably one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the conference, not named Tom Brady.
Just in the AFC. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the AFC for right now.
You've narrowed down my pool. I was hoping you'd just say like top 10, and I'd be like, oh, you're wrong. But no, I can't say that.
Let's put it this way: on this season alone, right now, taking the entire league, yes, I would put him in top 10, and he's flirting with top 5 for this season right now. Just this season in the back.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
You're wrong. He's not top 5, James. Come on.
I said flirting with top 5. I didn't say in it, but I mean he's a shoo-in for the top 10. I pretty much put him somewhere around 6, maybe 7, but that's as low as I'm going.
I feel like we're about a week away from Crazy James returning to the podcast.
I haven't gone anywhere. I've always been this way.
No. So far this season, you've been actually reasonable, which is amazing. That's what I'm saying. We're like a week away from you before we lose. Reasonable James. Reasonable James is like a week away from, and then we're back to Crazy James, who's going to be touting all these horrible
seasons. Okay.
teams.
You take the season in a vacuum right now. Just this season, 2019. You can say Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes before the injury, Watson, maybe Cousins, maybe. I don't really want to go there.
Stafford's having a really good year, despite the record of the
And now
Lions.
You're looking at Jacoby Brissett. And dare I say, comparable to Stafford and Cousins, I put Brissett neck and neck with those two, if not above them. So that would pretty much make him my 5.
Brissett is currently outplaying Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'll take Garoppolo.
Who isn't outplaying Jimmy Garoppolo right now?
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm sorry. Look, they're not winning because of that offense.
Kyle Allen is having a pretty decent year. Gardner Minshew is having a pretty good year.
Pretty good and actually stellar are 2 totally different things. And Brissett is playing at a Pro Bowl level already this season. And he's been playing
the combination of Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater, they're outplaying Brissett.
I'll give you that. But still, that's still flirting with top 5 in my opinion. So, yeah, shooing for top 10, flirting with top 5, and I'd probably put him my 5th best quarterback right now in the league.
Broncos sent Jimmy Garoppolo a new weapon in Emmanuel Sanders. So the Broncos no longer have Emmanuel Sanders as a weapon. We've been talking about the depth chart for the Denver Broncos in terms of pass receivers, and it is pathetic. I don't understand. I mean, why are they throwing in the towel at this point?
They need to, because look at their quarterback. Not only that, as well as trading Sanders, they just put Tim Patrick on injured reserve, another wide receiver. So other than the Cortland Sutton, what's the receiving core look like in Denver?
I believe the number 2 now is Deshaun Hamilton. And then you have Deontay Spencer, Fred Brown, and Jawan Winfrey. I don't know any of those guys. I apologize to the Hamilton, Spencer, Brown, and Winfrey families. But yeah, these are not professional football wide receivers.
And we all know how I feel about Joe Flacco, and this is only going to make it worse.
Well, here's the thing. We can like or dislike Joe Flacco all we want, but they drafted Drew Lock. Do we really think the Broncos want to take another quarterback next year? I mean, I know John Elway loves his quarterbacks, but he doesn't love them that much. Oh, yeah. That's the Paxton Lynch situation all over again. Who was the other quarterback that they took?
I don't know.
Brock Osweiler?
Osweiler retired 2 weeks ago.
Osweiler was there. Who the heck were the? Well, listen, it doesn't matter. We're talking. We're spending too much time on a team that's going to lose another game.
Basically, other injuries in this game, real quick. Jawan Jones is questionable. Cornerback Bryce Callahan is out. We all know that Bradley Chubb is on injured reserve. For the Colts, Malik Hooker, safety, Tyquan Lewis, defensive end, Kenny Moore, cornerback, Paris Campbell, wide receiver, all show up as questionable on the injury report. But we're locking in the Colts. Next game.
Hold on. I have the list of the Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian. I said that.
There we go. Oh, you did? My apologies.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all right.
The Trevor Siemian Paxton Lynch duo. We're just the Broncos are looking to go down that road again if they draft another quarterback next year.
Again, too much talk about a team that's going to lose another game.
Well, speaking of teams that have lost a few games, the New York Giants are 2-5. The Detroit Lions are 2-3-1. The Lions are right smack dab in the middle in our power rankings at 16. The Giants remain steady at 27. The Lions are favored by 7. It's interesting. So let's talk a little bit here. The Lions defense gives up 428.7 yards per game, and they just traded away one of their best safeties in Quandre Diggs. Giants don't score, though. They have a -10 takeaway giveaway, 8 takeaways to 18 giveaways. So despite them trading away Quandre Diggs and the injury to Kerryon Johnson that will leave him pretty much out for the year, I'm still going to take the Lions.
As am I. I'm tempted to lock it up because, all this hype on the first 2 games that Jones has played has finally settled down and tapered off, and he looks like what he is, a rookie quarterback. And I don't understand why everyone was hyping him up when he's basically just a carbon copy of Eli Manning. There's nothing that glaringly special about him that makes him stand out in the crowd of other quarterbacks. He's average at best, with a chance to be very good. But greatness is not something that should be touted on any rookie at any point during the season. And he's looking like the rookie quarterback he is. So I feel that Patricia will have some things in store for him that he has not yet seen, which will make this offense look even more pedestrian than it already has over the last couple of weeks.
By the way, Crazy James will never equal Jared, our Crazy Giants superfan. Jared writes, Giants had me worried about losing a top 10 pick with the Cards coming into town, but they did the right thing and lost like they deserve for drafting Daniel Jones. Lions have gotten wrecked by officiating all year long. Expect them to unload on the Giants in a blowout win at home. Giants maintain their top 10 pick, and Lions crawl back into contention. Saquon goes for 180 yards from scrimmage with a touchdown. DJ throws a dumb pick because reasons. Lions 37, Giants 17. That almost actually sounded reasonable from Jared.
It did. It really did, because in the beginning of the season, he was touting the spectacular secondary they had, which I don't even know if that exists. And then there was some other unit of the defense, which was, garnering all of his praise. And that actually sounded like very shrewd and accurate analysis.
Here's the question. Why does he want a top 10 pick? They're not going to draft a quarterback.
There are other positions they can draft in the top 10. Linemen are, very hard to come by these days, Jay.
I hear that. I saw a rumor that Nate Solder actually might be on the trading block.
I saw that same rumor.
Mm.
And if that happens, I don't know what's going to happen to this already putrid offensive line for the New York Giants.
FYI, despite the putridness of one Nate Solder, I will take him back with open arms.
Of course you would. You love your former Patriots.
Josh, our Lions superfan, writes, finally, the schedule gets a little easier. This coincides nicely with our sudden rash of injuries on defense. I don't think a depleted unit on defense could hang with a tougher contending team this week, but we should be able to handle Big Blue. Well, let's put a pause right there and find out exactly what the injury report has to say.
For the Detroit Lions, the entire injury report, aside from Kerryon Johnson on injury reserve, is defensive personnel. Amani Oruwariye, cornerback, Deshaun Hand, defensive end, Mike Daniels, defensive tackle, Damon Harrison, defensive tackle, and Darius Slay, cornerback, all showing up on the injury report as questionable. Slay has that recurring hamstring injury creeping up again.
Yeah, I wonder how recurring it's going to be, too, because he, on Twitter, was very vocal about the Diggs trade, as in not liking it, as in saying this is total BS.
That's very telling.
Yeah, it is. Matt Patricia is not long for Detroit. By the way, Matt Patricia, we're good. We don't need you to come back home, so you can go.
Oh wow!
You can go to Tennessee or Houston or one of those teams. Help one of those Patriot junior teams.
Oh my gosh! For the Giants, injury report shows Sterling Shepard has been free of concussion symptoms for 2 weeks and is only waiting medical clearance to resume playing. Cornerback Corey Ballentine and linebacker Lorenzo Carter are both on the injury report as questionable. But I'm still taking the Lions here.
I mean, I just want to know if it's going to be Gerard Mayo or Steve Belichick. All right, enough. Back to Josh's point. The focus of this particular game, Giants-Lions, will be who carries the load on the ground without Kerryon. Will Ty Johnson be the guy? He's the guy fantasy owners are just running to the waiver wires to go grab right now. It's looking that way early on. Will CJ Anderson make a return to the team? He is still available in free agency. Perhaps a trade for Kenyon Drake. You should not be asking for such things.
Wow.
I think this portends to a heavy passing attack. Giants are beatable both ways. This could be a big TJ Hawkinson week. Ooh, that's good news because I'm floating with TJ Hawkinson in a couple of fantasy leagues right now. Defense again, so beat up, but it's week 8 in the NFL, so a lot of depth charts are thin. It's a Snacks revenge game, but you said he's on the injury report. He's unable to go.
He has that interior thigh thing going on, since you guys like to clown me about the other word.
Interior thigh? Anyway. Saquon may bust loose against our underachieving front. That's my worry. Also, a Golden Tate revenge game. I expect our former slot stud to score on us, but in the end, it's not enough. Giants 20, Detroit 28. So a little closer than what Jared said. By the way, Josh also not a fan of the Quandre Diggs trade, saying it's a totally asinine move. I get they had depth, but it definitely wasn't worth a day 3 pick upgrade. Effing A, man, this team.
It's so beautiful this time of the year when you see our super fans truly feel about their teams.
I remember a time when I was very anti-Belichick. I don't think Patricia will be able to get out of this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Was that when he was in Cleveland?
I'm sorry. Do you remember the time when the greatest Patriot quarterback of all time was traded to a division rival? Do you remember a time when before week 1 of the season,
Rogan?
Lawyer Malloy was cut? Not even traded. He was just cut. Oh, anyway. No, why are you allowing me to just keep going back to the Patriots? This shouldn't be allowed.
You do it on your own.
I really do. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-4. The Tennessee Titans are 3-4. The Bucs remain at 25 in our power rankings. The Titans only moved up to 23. They are 2.5-point favorites in this game. Let's just look at the points for, points against, shall we? Tampa Bay, has scored 28.8 points per game and have allowed 30.8 points per game.